Hey guys, welcome to another English commentary done by Diggity. This match is going to be between Mensol and Luxury on Destination, the winners match of MST Season 3 Group 6. And Mensol really proving me right in that first game, really adaptable and played just generally altogether well. Luxury also playing fairly solid. I would say he's one of the better Zerg players right now, alongside of course Jaedong and the other popular groupings. We'll see if Savior can come back. I would put Luxury above Jaedong just a little bit, but that's just for a short lapse of time. I don't know how long that will last. Mostly just because he's the WCG champion right now, and he had further bursts in the OSL last season, or in recent seasons, than Jaedong has. Luxury starting at the 6 o'clock position in yellow, 12 o'clock position we have Mensol in green. Although I have to say, out of Luxury's recent matches, his EVZs look somewhat weak. I think there's a mental block there for him, and his mental blocks have shown to be very fierce. I mean, he had in the OSL a couple seasons ago against Best, he had some of those games locked, and it just feels like little mental errors. As soon as they started setting in, he completely collapsed as a player. And recently, his Zerg versus Zerg has certainly shown characteristics of that. He went for a 12 hatch. I'm trying to remember against who. I might have been on Destination, but basically went for a 12 hatch, which is usually somewhat suicidal Zerg versus Zerg. I guess he was hoping his opponent was 12 pooling, and just got run over basically, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe he was doing it, particularly against the opponent he was going up against. I'm trying to, and I can't remember which player that was, but I'm sure you guys can find it. You guys watch a lot of games, you guys might remember yourselves. Anyway, and here we see Luxury going for gas before spawning pool. So he's going to go for extremely fast tech, and this is interesting because he's trying to get an advantage, I would assume, over a 12 pool, 9 pool, or an over pool here. So, and that's a pretty good selection. His Zerglings are going to come out significantly later than an over pool, significantly later than a 9 pool, but still in time to defend against both. I think, especially with the distance on this map, he's not going to have the against a 12 pool, who'll have a smaller economy, of course, comparatively a lot fewer minerals because he's mining gas a lot earlier, but he will get a much faster layer. Comparatively, and that'll put his Mulisks in the air, and he might be able to kill an Overlord and defend his Overlord into the mid game. But Mensol 12 hatching on the opposite end. Ouch. So Mensol going for and there's nothing Luxury can really do to push against this at this stage, because he went for that gas first build and he's going for that quick tech. He's not going to have the Zerglings on the ground to really put pressure. The Zerglings, and again because of the distance on the map and just because of the way the map is set up, honestly, Mensol's going to be able to defend against this fairly easily. Luxury still might be able to pull out a victory, though, because really the key to this is, again, it circulates really around the Overlords once the Mulisks are produced, is how many Overlords can Luxury pick off. He's going to be able to pick off that first one much before Mensol picks off basically his, and then if he can defend the second Overlord, take a second Overlord out, that might be able to, just little things like that, he might be able to shift the balance. And then the key is for Luxury is at that secondary, he needs to make sure that that gas stays down. If Mensol manages to cap that gas and get enough gas actually to make up for the difference between the early gas from Luxury, and if he can just hold that gas, then Mensol is going to, if Mensol can hold it, he'll take the game. And honestly, with this map artifact, it might be difficult for Mensol to hold that gas because it is right over a ridge. I think it would be wise for him to put down an evolution chamber and maybe even a spore colony there and just completely forego Mulisks a little bit at this stage of the game, or at that stage of the game, honestly. Or maybe even put them down in support. He's definitely going to have a much superior economy, so I think he could do it with Zerglings. And all he has to do, honestly, is hold out. And he's producing some Zerglings now, and he actually has more Zerglings than Luxury, though I don't expect he's going to put up pressure, simply again because he's taken that expansion. As long as he holds that expansion over the long run, he will win the game, just because he's going to have superior economy. The question is, again, drone production versus Zergling production. Luxury's just going to have to wait until Mulisks. He's got a couple Zerglings pushing up now. Looks like he's got a second hatchery down going at the 12 o'clock, and you can see how he was putting it a little bit as far north possible so he can get those Mulisks out as quickly as possible. He's going to see the 12 hatch now. He's tech the lair, and I don't think that Spire is going to be in, I would say, try to get a good estimate on that, maybe 300 hit points before the other, so enough, not enough time where Luxury could just completely dominate the air for a couple seconds inside Mensol's base, but enough time, again, for Luxury to kill that first Overlord that's near, that Mensol's near Overlord, and then maybe go for another Overlord somewhere around the area and defend his Overlord more in particular. If he can defend his Overlord, that'll also be a pretty big boon here. And at the very least, it might force Mensol to go Scourge. But again, Mensol's key to the game is don't put too many Overlords out in the field, in my opinion. You just keep your one right there, sacrifice it. Don't worry about your other Overlords. Maybe scatter them to the 4 corners, honestly. And then otherwise, yeah, I would say get a Spore Colony down, and he's doing what he needs to do right here, putting a second Creep Colony down to make sure that Luxury can't break this with just Zerglings. But maybe he's going to turn that into a Spore Colony. I don't know. He doesn't have an Evolution Chamber anywhere near here, though. And a Spire going up now is almost finished for Luxury here. Going up. It's almost done here. And it looks like a Sunken Colony. Still no second gas here from Mensol. He's just going to be producing Zerglings for a bit, so he doesn't really need it. Now we see those Mutalisks being produced, and you can see Mensol trying to pull that Overlord out. And yeah, he's very well defended with against the Zergling attack. He's going to lose a lot of those Zerglings if he's not careful, because again, the Mutalisks versus Zerglings, not a fair fight. And it looks like the Spore, yeah, about 300 hit points behind. So at the very least, he's going to lose an Overlord, and Luxury might be able to defend that second Overlord. And again, the key to this game is going to be around that expansion and that second gas. So and even if he can mine, and he still isn't mining out of it, even if he mines a little bit, looks like he's going to put it down now. Even if he mines a little bit there, if it's enough to give him to get more Mutalisks up in the air, it will be absolutely huge. So Luxury's already killed one Overlord, and it looks like he's going to come around and try to swing towards the main. He's catching another Overlord out in the field. This is a little bit unfortunate for Mensol. It looks like he's pulling it back, and the Overlord that was escaping Mensol's base just kind of coming across that. So that's 2 Overlords right there, and it looks like it happened out in the field rather than inside Mensol's base. So a little bit of a advantage there. Ooh, 2 Scourge hits, so 1 Mutalisk taken down. Now Luxury pushing up. He knows what he needs to do. He needs to stop that gas. He needs to do as much damage at this economy as possible, and it looks like he's going to get chased off a little bit. That's much inferior forces, though, Scourge and Mutalisks, and as you can see, trying to take some pot shots there. Able to take 1 Scourge down, able to take a second Scourge down, now engaging, took an additional Scourge hit, but there's just not enough Mutalisks in the field to really engage this. That gas really paying off. Looks like another Mutalisk was taken down, but not a lot of health left on the last 2 Mutalisks, and it looks like more Mutalisks coming up to support for Luxury, so I think Luxury is going to get, you just continue to puppet. He's got usually a limiting factor here is gas, but again, because he took that early gas, he has a lot of gas to spare, but still mining, able to pick off 1 drone, 2 drones, and that is absolutely huge, and he might get the 3rd. If he can get that 3rd, it's stopped. Okay, now Luxury in a very, very good position here. All he has to do is kind of hold off. Scourge being produced. Now he's going to be able to pick off some Zerglings on the front door. Might be able to hammer away at those Sunken Colonies well and bring some Zerglings up in support. So very good job from Luxury. I honestly was worried a little bit that Mensol would be able to hold this and thus take the game, but Luxury actually showing some good ZVZ here, running up, and he's got a superior grouping. He's also got Scourge coming in tandem, and it looks like Mensol just does not have the numbers to do with that. That extra gas from Luxury really paying off, and Mensol GG's. Luxury takes the game. Beautiful. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So Luxury actually showing a very, very, very good ZVZ game there, and you can see smirking a little bit. It's almost like he's kind of killed that demon. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Going to move on to the the losers match and then the final match. Thanks for listening.